Hello, everybody. Welcome to Texas Along with Meg, your channel. Right here, your host. And today we're going to talk about a very controversial topic. You know, most people want to talk about money. Many people, it does change people and unmask their intentions. Change the way they act, change the way they present themselves. Sometimes it turns people into gold diggers. So, according to this picture, money does not change people. It unmasks them. So, here is a story that I'm doing based on the article that done a cover story. I guess back in September of this year, a woman poisoned a man, killing him with an ingredient used in the vehicle, so to speak. How many of you heard of ethyl glycol? Do you really know what that formulation of that chemical liquid is? It's a liquid often used in vehicles that's called for antifreeze. Alright, the man was supposed to inherit money. He had a live-in girlfriend at the time. She committed a heinous crime against him. He was supposed to inherit some nice little amounts of money, so to speak. See, I did a video on entitlement, how it will cost you everything. She was going to do the unthinkable to get her hands on some of that money. If I can't have it, nobody can have it. Her mentality. And it come at a very, very bad cost. It come at a cost of a life. My question to you is, once the investigation gets wrapped up and she gets formally charged and probably thrown in the penitentiary, being fed 3 squares of meals a day at the expense of a taxpayer funds or money, whatever you call it, just living in a cell by herself. She ain't got nobody to share her life with. I mean, she took the life of a man who inherited money. So, my question to you, the listener, is the love of money the root of all evil? The entitlement just cost that man his life. So, okay, well, now let's go ahead and do a cover story on this. I'm gonna take this off and let me see if I can get it to come up. Let me go ahead and see if I can find out where I can get this. Here it is. here it is. Right, here's the article.
Poison her boyfriend. According to the Minot Police Department, a 51-year-old Minot man died at a hospital in Bismarck. The man was first taken to the hospital where he later died. Authorities believe the man's girlfriend, Ina Thea Knoyer, had financial motives to kill the man. Knoyer has been charged with a Class AA felony murder charge.
You see? AA class felony charge. Financial motive. According to the story, financial motive. According to this article, woman accused of fatally poisoning her boyfriend in North Dakota may have been hoping to steal his sizable inheritance, according to the new details. Now she don't even have a boyfriend no more because she took his life over the money that she ain't gonna never see. So what is the point? Okay. Knoyer, 47, was arrested Monday and charged with Class AA felony murder in connection with the September death of a 51-year-old Minot man, 47 years old. What does that tell you? So, see, she claims that living with someone for over 10 years, you're entitled to anything he wins. And the state is going to prove that you ain't entitled to anything but a prison sentence. And taxpayers going to be paying your meal tickets, health care, and everything. You're going to be in prison serving possibly a life sentence for a murder to steal money. Was that life even worth taking? I don't think it was. So how did she also knew about this arrangements right here. So she was poisoning her boyfriend with ethyl glycol, a common ingredient used in antifreeze. According to this article, September the 3rd, Roddy had planned to meet a lawyer at an airport to finalize his transaction. She knew about this. According to the affidavit, Knoyer and many of the man's friends accompanied him to the airport, but friends began to notice his health rapidly declining, and him acting thought he was drunk despite not drinking any alcohol. He never touched alcohol. He was a non-alcoholic. According to the girlfriend, he drank alcohol while she was poisoning him with ethyl glycol. In this article, he experienced stomach pain and began having trouble walking. Friends say they tried to get Roddy medical treatment, but Knoyer insisted that he was suffering from a heat stroke. She interfered and continued to poison him. And just needed to go home and rest. So, yeah, she was continuing to poison him with ethyl glycol. According to this article here, the affidavit. Soon after he began vomiting, he could not walk on his own. Authorities said friends became very concerned. But Knoyer told him that she had medical training and said the boyfriend was suffering from a heat stroke. No, he wasn't suffering from no heat stroke. Glycol poisoning he was suffering from. The following morning, a friend went to check on Riley, told by Canoyer that he had gone to a clinic. No, she did not take him to a clinic. A friend visited every clinic in ER in Minot could not find any record that he'd been treated, the document said. She lied. So one of his friends called 911 to get a first responder. As soon as they showed up, they notified the authorities. Take a good look at this. Look at that little mug shot. She's guilty. Ina Canoyer, booking photo provided for Ward County Detention Center, arrest on October 30th. Minot Police Department confirmed. Ward County Detention Center. Just look at that face. Would you love to have, okay, to any man out there listening to my channel, would you love to have her as your girlfriend if she finds out you're fixing to come into contact with some money? Scary. So, later that day, the first responders were dispatched to Riley's address for a report of an unconscious man and transported to a local emergency room. His condition was so severe that he was flown to a hospital in Bismarck, North Dakota, where he never regained consciousness and died on September 5th. Of course, they had to notify the next of kin. They didn't even notify Canoyer. She was not even married to him. Coroner, who was informed by the man's friends that Canoyer made comments about poisoning her boyfriend with antifreeze in the past, ran tests for ethylene glycol, a key ingredient in antifreeze, came back with toxic level of the substance in his blood. Investigators later searched Canoyer and Riley's home and found several items of note, including old antifreeze Windex bottle without a cap that contained bright green liquid, as well as glass Coors Light bottle and a plastic mug, both containing the same liquid, ethylene glycol. The liquid was suspected to be antifreeze, according to this article here. Oh, she's a perfect liar. She killed him because she claims she is entitled to a portion of the inheritance. Canoyer told the investigator that her boyfriend had been drinking alcohol all day on September the 3rd, claiming he had a heat stroke. Blood work ultimately determined Riley had no alcohol in the system when he died. He had ethylene glycol, chemical from antifreeze, in his bloodstream. Canoyer admitted that she was aware of Riley's inheritance. She had planned to split it with his son now that he's dead, believing she was entitled to a portion of the money as his common law wife. Investigators said she became upset when they told her that North Dakota does not recognize common law marriage according to the arresting documents. She made assumptions that she was going to get a portion of the money. Now, whoever's the living heir of Mr. Riley gets the money, not Canoyer. according to the North Dakota law, I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to show it to you right here. Okay? Here, let me take this down. Let me take that down and let me show you what I'm talking about here. All right, let me show you right here. All right, I done found it for you. Okay, I did all the leg work for you. You ready? Are you ready? Here it is. Let me read this to you. I'm gonna read this to you, okay? All right. North Dakota does not recognize common law marriages established within the state. To be legally recognized, number one, marriage must be in paper. It must be in a courthouse. It must be a formal process to obtain a marriage license and solemnization. That means you have to have somebody asking you, will you take this also to be your lawfully wedded husband and wife and yada da 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 da. Then when you say yeah I do, you kiss the bride and then you're married in the eyes of North Dakota State. All right. So the bottom line, the assets might travel to the beneficiaries in a chain of inheritance. They may have to proceed to wills with residual heir, or the state might handle them as interstate assets. Depends on the entirety of the circumstances of the will, the law of the individual state. Oh, so let's look up North Dakota situation, all right? After death. Okay, here it is. All right. See? Knoyer doesn't get a dime, not one iota. North Dakota, if you're married and you die without a will, what your spouse gets depends on whether or not you have a living parents or descendants, grandchildren or children, great grandchildren. If you don't, then your spouse inherits all of your interstate property. But see, they don't recognize common law relationship, common law marriage, common law wife. They don't recognize that. Guess what? She's screwed and tattooed. She doesn't get one iota. a guide to North Dakota inheritance laws. Number one, you got to be married. Common law marriage, you don't get doodly squat. You don't get nothing. All you get is prison sentence. You got to serve your sentence. And then, I ain't no telling what else with that. You'll probably just wind up being all alone. So, die interstate in North Dakota without a will valid, a last testament in place, distribution of your estate will be subjected to state interstate succession laws, as I mentioned. All right here. So he did not have a living will. He did not have a will. The article said he did not have a will. So if you die intestate in North Dakota, your estate will pass on to the closest living relatives to whom depends on who you leave behind. Spouse, children, parents, or even siblings. There are some assets that are exempt from North Dakota's succession laws, such as property and living in a trust, retirement, or life insurance funds. Transfer death account, real estate account, payable, and bank, joint property. See, she thought she was going to get her hand on some of that money. And then, and what's even bad is right here. Let me show you. The investigation. The investigation is going. I'm sorry about the phone call, but the investigation is ongoing. She admitted that she was unaware of Riley's inheritance. She's planning to split it with his son. Not hey, with dad. He had a son. All right? And she was entitled to a portion of the money as his common law wife. North Dakota doesn't recognize common law marriage. They do not recognize it. They don't recognize it. Be right back. I gotta take a little break real quick. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about the interruption. Had to put the phone back on the charger to charge it, but that's beside the point. The point of the matter is, the woman here, suspect, the one that they arrested, providing scenarios to investigators to explain Riley could have potentially ingested antifreeze, such as his cigarette. Now we just learned that the deceased was a smoker. Fell into the antifreeze in the garbage and he smoked it. The investigators ain't buying it. Here's a prime question. How can someone ingest cigarette smoke with antifreeze in the cigarette smoke going into your lungs? When you drink the liquid gets absorbed in your bloodstream. See, the investigators ain't buying it. Okay? She began to tell him that Google says symptoms of a heat stroke can be mimic poisoning. Really? So she was on the computer learning how to murder her boyfriend with Google. That's a big no-no. Not only that, the suspect left all kinds of fingerprints, evidence, everything at the computer all on the search engine. This woman is so dumb. She's dumb as a box of rocks. Canoia ultimately admitted she just put antifreeze in some sweet tea that she made for her boyfriend, according to a arresting affidavit. Really? Oh, now that's where it gets real. That's where she admitting it to killing her own boyfriend by doing this. She's currently being held in a Ward County Detention Center with preliminary hearing scheduled for December the 7th. Do you know what happened on December the 7th of 1941? Pearl Harbor Day, remember? Yeah. So she got it on that Pearl Harbor Day. The case is extremely complex, the investigator commander, Captain Dale Pelesis, said in a press conference release. Thank you to everyone who provided us information that helped us investigators piece this together. I don't know what she's going to get. And anyways, so let's see. Here's a man before he was poisoned. Looked pretty healthy to me. And look at this. A woman charged with murder after allegedly admitting to poisoning boyfriend after he got $30 million inheritance. Investigators believe that Ina Thea Canoia fatally poisoned her boyfriend Stephen Edward Riley Jr. to gain part of his multi-million payouts. November the 1st. This is November the 6th. Today's November the 6th. This published on November the 1st. 5:02 Eastern Time. That would be 4:02 Central Standard Time. This story broke. A North Dakota woman has been charged with murder, allegedly fatally poisoning her boyfriend in the hopes of receiving part of his multi-million dollar inheritance. See, I read to you about North Dakota doesn't even recognize common law relationship or common law marriage. They lived together for 10 years. They don't even recognize that union. North Dakota doesn't recognize it. So, according to the article, Stephen Riley Jr. has a son, possibly the same name, Stephen Riley III. He's going to get that payout, not Canoia. She wound up empty-handed. I'm just telling you this, folks. Be careful who you trust with money. There are some people who will be willing to do anything to get that dollar out of your pocket. That includes taking your life. Prosecutor alleged that Canoia poisoned her boyfriend with antifreeze because she thought she would receive part of the $30 million inheritance Riley was set to receive, according to the arrest affidavit obtained by NBC North Dakota affiliated KFYR TV. She claims she's a nurse. In fact, she's a gold digger. Gold diggers walk as men too, so you gotta be careful who you trust. Check this out. He was taken to a hospital on September 4th after authorities were called found him unresponsive at a home he shared with his girlfriend. He died at the hospital the next day. The affidavit states, according to the New York Times, autopsy results determined Riley's cause of death would to be poisoning, according to the police. Prosecutors said the coroner found toxic levels of ethylene glycol, an agent and antifreeze, in the system after his death. So, Riley's friends told police that Canoyer made comments about antifreeze before and after his death, according to the affidavit. So they gave a report to the authorities. All right? They gave a report to the authorities. They executed a search warrant. Of course, the judge had to sign off on a warrant from the courthouse. They had to get a judge to sign off on a warrant before they can go search your property for a probable cause. Because that right there is in the Constitution. No law enforcement can search your premises without a probable cause, without a search warrant signed by the judge. That's the only way they can go into your house and search for it. So they went in, they executed a search warrant signed by the judge in North Dakota and went into Canoyer and Riley's shared residence where they found capless Windex bottle containing bright green liquid. It was then called, it's suspected to be antifreeze. Glass cup and a mug filled with the same liquids were found in the garage. According to the article here, Canoyer was aware of her boyfriend's inheritance and believed she was entitled to some of it. So when the judge hands her a prison sentence at the hearing, I'm going to cover that later on when the time allows. Okay? I'm going to cover that. I am going to cover this story, the updates with the prison sentence when the information becomes available. Okay? Now, according to the station investigator spoke with Canoyer, she said she knew about the inheritance Riley was set to receive and believed she was entitled to a portion of it, claimed she was Riley's common-law wife. She added that she was planning on splitting the inheritance with Riley's son now that Riley is deceased, or he's taking the dirt now. North Dakota doesn't recognize common-law marriage. As I read in Google search, as I read in Google search, they don't recognize common-law marriage, all right? They don't recognize that. So Canoyer is going to be penniless, spending some time in prison. The son's going to get the payout now that dad is gone. Canoyer allegedly admitted to investigators on September 3rd when she made Riley sweet tea containing antifreeze, citing the arrest. She admitted to killing them right there. It's right there. The proof's in the pudding right there. And whoa, look at this. I don't look like she's already in the jail with a $1 million bond. It don't look like nobody's going to bond her out. That's how serious this charge is. She committed a double a felony murder. All right, this is the most severe case of a kind in North Dakota. Double A felony murder. She's in jail for over a $1 million bond. Nobody's going to come and save her and bond her out of jail. She's staying there indefinitely. She's going to probably get credit for time served in jail. The case is extremely complex. Investigators commander said in a statement, it's complex. But you know, the investigators are going to get to the bottom of this. They're going to build a case against Knoyer. She's going to have a defender. She's pretty much done. You cannot go out, claim an entitlement. See, you go claim entitlement, it's going to backfire on you. Anyways, I am done covering this story. Be careful who you trust your life with, because not everybody's your friend. Take care of yourself and peace out.